Trump. Does he believe in the U.S.-ROK alliance?
The president absolutely believes in the U.S.-ROK alliance. It's clear. He understands that it's important. It's critical to defend against North Korea. It's also critical as we face the geostrategic challenge from China. President Trump understands it, gets it. What he was frustrated with in his first term were the policies of President Moon, who had both a cordial relationship with Pyongyang and a cordial relationship with Beijing. And President Trump was trying to thread the needle. He was trying to open up a door for negotiations with Kim Jong-un in order to bring Kim Jong-un to denuclearize. But he also wanted to get the South Koreans as well to step up to pay more for their own defense. Trump is a big believer in not just make America great again, which, and I agree fully with Jim, that critical to making America great again is restoring the American deterrent, which has withered in the last few years under the Biden administration, whether you look at the Middle East, whether you look at Ukraine, and whether you look at the Indo-Pacific. And so, but the other part of Donald Trump's beliefs are America first, that America can no longer engage in altruistic activities for other countries. South Korea is a huge economic success. Korean soap operas like, but is also a major economic force with an incredible automobile industry, telecommunications industry, chip manufacturing capabilities, and the president wants to make sure that the South Koreans are that they engage in serious defense spending to meet the challenges that we face together as an alliance. And so the president likes to use rhetoric to get attention, as Jim said, but he deeply understands the need for greater parity in our relations with our allies while maintaining deterrence. And that is a complicated needle to thread. The president thinks out loud, mentions ideas, but just because he mentions them oftentimes to get people's attention to focus on serious problems doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to follow through all the way. And he is someone who has a clear strategic mindset, but his end goals will change from time to time.
During the first administration, there was a lot of words over the miscoordination between Seoul and Washington, and that Trump administration was upset when the Moon administration went ahead and signed a comprehensive military agreement with North Korea without fully discussing with the United States. Where do you think that problem came from, that miscoordination between Seoul and Washington at the time?
Well, I think it came from Seoul, period. I think we had a team of experienced experts who knew South Korea well. We had a president in Seoul who wanted to move forward much more quickly with the Sunshine Policy, ahead of where President Trump was, certainly. And President Trump felt a lot of pressure at that point from South Korea in his attempt to open up to Pyongyang to try to push for these negotiations. And if you'll remember, the negotiations began with Trump talking about fire and fury in Pyongyang, the Trump administration doing an extraordinary job of bringing together allies and adversaries at the United Nations to put very tough sanctions on North Korea that were far more effective than anything that the Biden administration did. And so I put the blame on Seoul.
Dr. Carafano, as Dr. Weinstein mentioned, President Trump at the time thought that the Moon administration of South Korea appeased to North Korea and China, and the Yoon Suk-yeol government has been aligning with U.S.'s strategy against China. How do you think it is important, Seoul's stance on China, in President Trump's mind, to think of South Korea as a partner that he can really trust and cooperate with?
Yeah, well, the first thing I'd say is the key to
U.S., Korea, and Japan as its top diplomatic achievement. Would President Trump think it is important to continue this when he values unilateral action on countries? And would he find trilateralism useful against China? And how important is Seoul-Tokyo ties improvement for President Trump?
Yeah, first of all, President Trump brought back the Quad when he was president. He and Shinzo Abe and Prime Minister Modi worked to bring it back. So he's not simply a unilateralist. That's just not the case. He and President Trump, behind closed doors, spoke regularly of the U.S., Japan, South Korea trilateral alliance at a time when that alliance really was not in good shape. And he encouraged his national security advisors to meet very regularly every few months with their South Korean and Japanese counterparts, because he wanted the alliance to function effectively. So he is going to be someone who believes in this trilateral alliance. He couldn't get it moving in those days because of where President Moon was and the differences between Tokyo and Seoul. Today, the alignment is much stronger. A lot's going to depend on the direction of the South Korean government. If President Yoon somehow falls from power and is replaced with a left-wing government that is going to bring up historical grievances and collective memory, it's going to be much harder to get that trilateral alliance facing the right direction.
Dr. Carafano, in a phone